Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I have fails, 20 of them to be exact. Now these are things I would never recommend to any of my friends in real life, so I may as well inform my friends here on the internet, you guys, about what I think are hard passes. We're gonna start strong with 3 powders that I feel make you look cakey, crunchy, bunchy, everything we don't want. Neutrogena Translucent Setting Powder, the Hydra Boost. I love the Hydra Boost Primer so much. That one is a game changer. I rave about it over and over again. It was my favorites of the year. I was thinking, I really like that. Maybe I should try the powder. Maybe that is a hidden gem as well. This was so chalky. I looked flat. I didn't have dimension. It's like it sucked the life out of my skin. I did not find it hydrating. It was just a disaster. This one is an absolute pass. Cali Ray, I love the name of this one, the Magic Hour Setting Powder. This one was a slippery mess on the skin. It's very microfine in texture, but it gums up. So something that you will hear me say all the time with powders is I don't want things bulking and gumming. That means when I have foundation on the skin, if it's a skin tint, I've done a lot of skin prep, the skin is nice and hydrated. If you put the wrong powder on that hydrated situation, you are gonna end up getting like little patches of product that have mixed in with the moisture and pill up and ball up and gunk up. It is a makeup dilemma that really there is no coming back from. Really, really hard to fix. So when that happens the first time, literally I'm just like, next. We're not doing that. Now you can get a microfine setting powder and not have that issue. And I've had a much better experience with the fine setting powders from Essence, from L'Oreal. And what's surprising is this is from Sephora. It's not a cheap powder. It just did not perform. This one right here from Benefit, this is the Professional powder. This is meant to make you look very poreless, smooth. It has kind of this glossy, a little bit of a mica infused finishing texture to it, but it just does the weirdest thing on the skin in my opinion. It makes it look kind of reflective, blurred, but then flat at the same time. It looks very, very makeup-y in my opinion. So this one is a hard pass. This is one that you guys hounded me. You hounded me to try this out because it was going viral online for a minute. This is from Palladio. This is a color corrector I picked up from Sally's. Not very expensive. This is their under eye brightener in soft pink. I used this twice. And twice was too many times. It creases so incredibly fast. You put this on and it does look nice immediately. It has kind of this wet finish to it that can be a little bit scary in a product underneath the eyes, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It has to have the right cushion to it. Catrice does a better job underneath the eye as far as a more affordable under eye brightener if you're looking for that. This one just kind of almost separated as far as the color is concerned and creased. And for those reasons, this one has been eliminated from the beauty room. This one is new from Tarte. And I think the packaging is super, super cute. It kind of looks like a macaroon. It's really cute. You have a cream on one side with a little protector, which I think is very innovative. You have the powder on the other. This powder is so absolutely in your face. It is so hard to get a more subdued amount on the skin, and it is very metallic-y, just kind of blotchy at the same time. If you can even see like on my hand, how it kind of like, it wants to cling to certain areas. And if you have any kind of line coming down here, any hollows or puffiness, and you get a little bit of that blush anywhere in this region, you're gonna hate it because it just emphasizes lumpy, bumpy texture on the skin. I'm not even talking about pore texture. It just like magnifies that your skin is not filtered in real life. And the cream is just, it's fine, it's good, but altogether, I'm gonna say this one is a pass. If you want something that does have a little bit of a shimmer in it, the new one from Physicians Formula, their Baked Blush, is incredible. Catrice has some that rival Rare Beauty that are incredible. And then RMS Beauty has a gorgeous, it's like a gel to powder, gorgeous shimmery blush that blends and is beautiful on every single skin type. So those are the alternatives. I would skip Tarte. And then this in my hands right here, I wasted $28 on this El Royale white foundation. You guys, this is just a mess. It's heavy and waxy on the skin. Even if you are using just a tiny bit, you have to rub the face so hard to warm it up and activate it that I just do not think this is worth it. So I wanted to re-emphasize, if you hadn't watched my video of me trying weird AF products that I myself ordered online, I will link that video below. Pass, pass, pass. Oh my gosh, this is the worst makeup applicator I think I have ever used. e.l.f., I love you, but this is so not it. You're like patting, 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 patting. It is not blending any of the product into the skin. If you try to rub it all, it for some reason like almost grabs onto the foundation and wants to pull it. So you're not getting an even blend. This, oof. Bad makeup day right here. Sorry, e.l.f., you're twice in here. I apologize. The Halo Glow Skin Tint. This is a mineral broad spectrum SPF 50 sunscreen. This is so expensive for what it does. I don't think it's fantastic. Now I'm in my skin tint era. You guys know I am loving them right now. I am eating them up. Everything from Wonder Skin all the way up to Victoria Beckham. I am trying more drugstore formulations as well. I am on a mission to find us the best of the best in every price point. This one for the drugstore, save your cash. It's not exceptional. I don't find it crazy long wearing at all. It's kind of just whatever, and the price is so high that I have to mention it in this video. Setting sprays, I have two of them. I have one from Fenty. You guys, I can't stand the hairspray nozzle. Like, this is the land that I live in right now. Look at this mist. This is exceptional. This is what we want. This is from Say. This is the City set, and I love this setting spray. So this is a good one. They're about the same price. Look at that mist. Oh, I feel that I am just kissed by the heavens when I have a mist that is vaporized. It's like this beautiful cloud gently bumping into my skin, making my makeup look less powdery and wear longer. Love a good setting spray. This kind of a nozzle felt drugstore to me. It's not that the formula is terrible. The formula is a little sticky. It's not my favorite. This is the You Mist Makeup Extending Setting Spray. This one right here just like juts out, like there's too much wetness, so I was getting water droplets all over my face. This nozzle occasionally will clog. Now, yes, you can go to the sink and you can run it underwater, do all the things, but that's kind of a pain in the butt, especially when you're spending so much money for a setting spray. This one is a pass. And again, the formula itself is a little bit too sticky for my taste. Juvia's Place, oh my God. This is so intense. It is so drying. This is the Ready, Set, Sealed. Now, this is very similar to our friend over here from One Size Beauty or the L'Oreal Infallible, but this one is so gosh darn drying. I feel like I am very literally spraying straight alcohol on my skin. Now, the One Size can be drying as well. You don't want to be using it every single day. It's a special occasion only. Really intense, long wear makeup setting mist. This one, they just were like, hey, we are going to make this next level and it's going to be so intense. And it just proves that sometimes too much is too much. This one is a pass. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Refi? What is this? I need everybody to pay attention. Do not fall for the gimmicks. I feel like I am very much getting over anything that is gimmicky. I'm kind of like, red flag, I've seen it, I've done it, I've spent my cash, I don't want it. This does not do much to your lashes at all. Now, L'Oreal just came out with their Extensionist mascara. This has a wand that I normally would not gravitate toward. Similar, not as thin, longer, thicker, and you really can get in there and do what you need to do. But when it is banana shaped, like the Refi one, it's so hard to do anything with this wand. And I thought I would mention it before it goes in the bin. Newer purchase that I was kind of on the fence about, and I tried a few more times, and I just have to share with you guys. Unless you have fuller brows, I don't think you're gonna like this. And even if you have fuller brows, I think it might look goopy and exaggerate things that you don't want to exaggerate. It's like actual mascara for your eyebrows, and I don't think that that's what we want. This is from Milk Makeup. This is the Kush High Roll Brow Gel. Now, this is said to have like tubing technology in here, and it kind of does. You put this on and it feels like it is wrapping around every brow hair. It dries down in a way where you really can't manipulate much. You get a lot of the product like in the bare spaces of your brows. It just looks a mess. I was not impressed with this one at all. Disappointing purchase. Another tubing mascara that I could totally do without is the CoverGirl tubing mascara. This one I have to let you guys know because I try all the tubing mascaras. If you're in your shopping adventure and you're like, tubing mascara, Tati loves all of them. No, I don't. Some of them make your lashes just slam together and you look like spider lashes, like you have 4 lashes. That's what this one did and I can't stand it. I don't have time for it. Goodbye. These little highlighters from NYX. This is the Buttermelt Stick. These are so greasy. It feels like you are rubbing coconut oil that is infused with mica all over the face. I don't know how this could look good even on the most perfect skin. I'm just gonna say it doesn't wanna like blend out. It kind of feels like you're putting lip gloss on the face. It's just a weird product. It's giving maracuja from Tarte for your lips, but for your face. And at first I was like, oh, that might be kind of fun and nice. But then I put it on and it's like grease ball central and so metallic. Who is this product for? It's not for me. Hyaluron tint from L'Oreal, blotchy splotchy, I want nothing to do with it. Dries your lips out. Cool applicator, love the color. This is in You're Worth It, which I really do love this shade universally from L'Oreal, but this one was disappointing. Now their plumping lip oil in the same family is phenomenal, but this one, I can't get it to not be blotchy and I can't stand that. Goodbye. I am going to make a prediction right now. I have never had this happen during a wear test ever. I am predicting that in my end of the year for 2026, that this will be the worst concealer of the year. Now, normally when I try concealers, it's like, oh, like that was cute, but it wasn't like my favorite. It didn't give the right, consistency coverage. It creased a little bit. Like it was just kind of like, I always have like maybe a couple of notes, but overall, if you have to use it, like you can use it, it's fine. This was one that went so haywire that I just have to say, don't buy it. It's terrible. This is the Lifter Concealer from Maybelline. The doe foot applicator looks like it's been like hacked off. It's the weirdest applicator. Way too much product on the applicator comes out. So you're like fighting for your life, just being like, oh, remember to like take some of it off. You put it on and it looks nice for a moment. You're like, oh yeah, I feel good. This feels nice. It has like a nice luminous thing to it. Oh, we have peptides in here. It's anti-puffing. Like it sounds great. Like I'm into this formula. You look in the mirror not an hour later and you won't just have slight creasing. I had like lines under, like we had every line underneath my eye was emphasized, and just for that alone, hard pass. Update. The Ordinary, do we need the lash curl finisher? No, we don't. Save your cash. Save your cash on this one. Just curl your lashes before you put your mascara on. If you have hard to curl lashes, use a tubing mascara. Wait till it dries, go back in, give another little quick pulse. You'll be fine. This just made my lashes feel like I had put like a hard hold gel on them and it was uncomfortable and they didn't look good. They looked more gloppy. I think this goes in the gimmick pile. Unleashia. Beautiful K-Beauty makeup. I love their palette. They have beautiful shadows. So when I was in Ulta, I was like, oh, I love that shadow palette. Like, let me go in and see if they have anything else for me. And I thought this would work out great. It has the right kind of tip to kind of go in the inner corner. But when you put it on, there's something about this that just looks super off. It looks patchy. It looks weird. It's like clinging light in the wrong way. It doesn't glisten. It just looks metallic, chunky. So I would go for their shadows, but I would absolutely skip this glitter number 2 Flutter Pretty Easy Glitter Stick. It's a no. And there you have it, guys. Those are my current roundup of fails, things that are being removed from the beauty room, and I will continue trying, testing, buying, doing wear tests, bringing you all of the new drops, and while I'm doing that, I will be sure to pull the ones that don't belong in our routine for one reason or another. Now, if you love any of these products, obviously keep loving them and using them. You do you. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Go and have a great day, whatever you are doing, and I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah.